Diesel is a type of petroleum powering most buses and trucks, as it is energy efficient and cheap. However, diesel emissions are carcinogens, and exposure is known to contribute to many health problems. With the surge of economical electric vehicles as a comparative alternative, the United States should ban all diesel-emitting vehicles from the roads by 2035. 1. Diesel emissions damage DNA in human lung cells. Junwon Lee et al., Department of Chronic Disease Convergence Research, Korea National Institute of Health, February 16, 2021. We observed a significant increase in single-strand DNA breaks and frequency of micronuclei in diesel exhaust particles, DEP-exposed cells. The differentially expressed genes following DEP exposure were significantly enriched in the pathway for responding to xenobiotics and DNA damage. Taken together, these results show that DEP exposure induced DNA damage at the chromosomal level in normal human lung cells and provide information on the expression of genes associated with genotoxic stress. 2. Acute and chronic exposure to diesel emissions are harmful to human health. Mount Sinai, Selikoff Centers for Occupational Health, Diesel Exhaust Exposure, May 2016. Long-term exposure to diesel emissions can cause chronic cough and mucus, chest tightness and wheezing, and decreased lung function, worsening of lung diseases such as asthma, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis, lung cancer, heart disease, or worsening of pre-existing heart conditions. 3. Diesel is a major contributor to smog. Jason Donoff et al., Professor of Electricity and Thermodynamics, University of Calgary, Energy Education, Smog, 2020. Photochemical smog is a more modern phenomenon, commonly produced by vehicle emissions in contact with sunlight, mostly from burning gasoline and diesel. Photochemical smog forms in warm, densely populated cities with many vehicles. 4. Thick smog in big cities remains at harmful levels in the United States. Forbes, June 29, 2021. The American Lung Association has released its 22nd annual State of the Air report, which found that 135 million people across the United States live with polluted air that is putting their health and lives at risk. Improvements in air quality have been seen in some parts of the country, and 14.8 million fewer Americans are breathing unhealthy air compared to last year's report, primarily as a result of improved ozone pollution levels. Unfortunately, the threat of particulate matter air pollution is continuing to worsen every year. However, and close to 1.1 million people were found to be living in areas with unhealthy fine particulate matter levels compared to the 2020 edition of the report. 5. Other states and countries are banning emissions. The Guardian, April 30th, 2021. This week, both chambers of New York's legislature passed a directive that would ensure 100% of new car sales are electric by 2035, with all new trucks following by 2045. Biden's administration is being pressed to go further and ensure that U.S. joins countries such as the UK, France, and Norway in imposing a national ban of new gasoline and diesel car sales to help slash emissions to net zero by 2050. Last week, the governors of 12 states, including New York and California, wrote to the president to urge him to take bold federal leadership and ensure all new cars sold from 2035 are zero emission. 6. Retrofitting school buses has positive impacts on cognitive functioning. Economics of Education Review, June 2019. Diesel emissions from school buses expose children to high levels of air pollution. Retrofitting bus engines, in other words, replacing internal combustion engines with electrical engines, can substantially reduce this exposure. We demonstrate positive effects on respiratory health measured by a statewide test of aerobic capacity. Placebo tests on body mass index showed no impact. We also find that retrofitting districts experience significant test score gains in English and smaller gains in math. Our results suggest that engine retrofits can have meaningful and cost-effective impacts on health and cognitive functioning. 7. Electrical buses are calculated to be cheaper in the long run compared to diesel. Bentley C. Clinton, a postdoctoral research associate et al., MIT Energy Initiative Center for Energy and Environmental Policy Research Working Paper Series, June 2020. at $3.07 a gallon for diesel fuel and 12.2 cents per kilowatt of electricity, the e-bus saves roughly 87 cents per mile driven. If a bus were to be driven the average annual of 35,000 miles, the annual savings would be over $30,000. A battery costs $200 per kilowatt battery. The battery would cost $50,000, implying a payback period of just over a year. Although more real-world data is needed for a comprehensive estimate of these savings, an analysis of the New York City bus fleet estimates total lifetime savings for electrical buses over diesel-powered buses of approximately $168,000, or 12.5%. Thank you.